Hi. Welcome, everyone. So, those of you who don't know me, my name is A.M. Bott. I'm chief tea drinker at DAE. I'm going to turn it over in a second to Kylie and Kay, but I just wanted to welcome you into the space and just start off by really sort of acknowledging something that may be obvious to you, those of you who are here in support. But even if it is, it's sort of worth saying, Training takes skill. Like, you gotta be willing to develop skills, right? Maybe it takes intelligence. Maybe it takes some hard work, all right? Those things are not inconsequential. Those are important, right? But those are required of training. Education requires those things and something else. For us, training and education are different. Training is, I'm learning to do new things. Really important, right? Whether it's, learning how to properly make tea or learning how to code a website. There's a training component to that. There, again, learning skills. And we do that here. But this is actually an education institution. What that means for us is something different than training. It includes training, but it means something different. Education requires courage. Education requires vulnerability. Education, because if training is I improve my skills and get quote unquote better, education is I'm willing to expose more of myself so that I can have a bigger impact. Right? Education requires that I'm willing to say what I care about. Training doesn't require that. Training just requires that you get better at something. Again, really important. But education requires that I'm willing to take a stand for this is what I care about in the world. This is what I'm willing to give the next phase of my life to. This is who I'm willing to be in service to in whatever the work it is I do, right? And all the programs we run, we really are oriented towards education, really inviting human beings to develop skills, absolutely. But to develop skills in service of what kind of impact do you want to have in the world? Who do you want to be in the next phase of your life, right? And those things, intelligence is critical and hard work is critical, and I don't want to, sell those short. But courage, vulnerability, the willingness to say, I have no evidence, and in fact, there may be counter evidence for who I say I'm going to be, and yet I say I'm going to be that. That really, really requires, for us, kind of saying out loud that that's a special thing. And so that's what I want to kind of start this thing off as. We're going to talk about, kind of badges and credentials and all that's important, but and you likely know this as you're, hanging around with your friends and family members who are here getting their certificates, but I just want to really underscore that the folks that are coming up here and kind of completing the work, they gained skills, but they did something so much bigger, and so much more important and so much more impactful for each other and, for themselves. I'm going to say a couple more words at you at the end after I get more tea. But for now, I want to turn it over. You folks, no doubt, I say this every time we do this, you folks no doubt care about your friends, your family members that are here in the program. You love your friends and family members that are in the program. Our lead instructor for the adult program, I tell you, loves your students that are here as much as you do. All right, so I'm going to bring Kay up. Kay is the head of the adult program, and Kylie, who's our director of education and educational programming. I'm not sure which of them. I think Kylie's coming up first, but Kylie and Kay are both going to be up here, introducing you to all the candidates and awarding certificates and doing other fun things. And then you're going to get to see some of their work, and then we're going to eat and hang out and talk. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Kylie. Yeah? All you.
Hello. So I'm Kylie. I'm the Director of Educational Programming here at DAE, and I just want to, one, say congratulations to everybody, but two, I guess what I want to talk about is kind of like the education process that we have here, which is somewhat different than what you may experience other places. So Personally, I think learning is like a natural process. You do it since you're a baby. Learn how to walk, learn how to breathe, learn how to eat, learn how to pick up a spoon. You try stuff, it works the way you want to or it doesn't, and you change something, either do it better or to fix it and make it be what you want it to be. And that's as much as possible how we want to or how we structure our educational process here. So we give each student kind of like a structure of a project, like these are the skills we want to see, but they're the ones who do all the work into figuring out how to make that happen. They're the ones who are picking the topics, they're designing the project, they're putting the energy and the effort into figuring out where their solution is. And so I just want to point to, like, as you see their projects and get to talk to them about the stuff, talk to them about what they built, but also talk to them about like how they built it, how they got there, what was their path to figuring this thing out, and like why did it matter to them on what they built. So yeah, you'll get a chance to kind of walk around and talk to them, and I invite you to engage them as people because they did a lot of work and learned a lot of things and authentically express themselves in many ways. I'm going to pass it off to Kay, who is our senior educator for the adult program. He's going to talk a little bit about like the context of what they learned so you can ask meaningful, pointed questions, and then we'll move on from there.
All right, everyone. So happy to have you all here today. Very happy day for me. Anytime it's a graduation. Kay, I'm an educator. I spend a lot of time with the students, pretty much helping them with a project. So I just want to give you all some context of what they learned, so that when you're going around looking at your project, you can ask relevant questions, just like Hallie said. So the program was mainly a web development program, but then they started off learning what's called a terminal. If you've watched any of the hacker movies, you've seen a black background with some white text just scrolling up and down. That's just a terminal that allows you to do even more than what most people do with a computer. And then we gave them an insight into how to use that to gain full control of their computer. And then we introduced everyone into web development, but before they actually built a website, they had to take their time to actually draw it out and plan it out with tools to take a look at it and say, okay, this is what I really want for a website, and actually document a few things about it. We gave everyone an introduction into web development, and it's an important thing. Everything needs a web presence nowadays, so they learn how to build websites. And then from there, they had to switch between two tracks, front-end web development and then back-end web development. Front-end folks focus on what people see and experience. So these are folks that before building a website had to think about, okay, if someone looks at my website, what's going to happen? Are they going to smile? If they click on this button, is it intuitive enough, telling them what to do? That's front end. And it's almost like a car. It's what you see on the outside of a car, right? It's red, it's stylish, looks good. Back end folks had to work on the engine. What people normally don't see, what happens behind the scenes. Right? So it's almost like an engine in the car. If you click this button, what really happens? What's the code that makes it happen? If I create sign up, what happens? So that's what backend folks worked on. And then from there, they all came back together and worked on a programming language, because that's an essential skill to learn as well. And they learned Python, arguably one of the best programming languages. Right now, it's #1 on something called a TIOB index. Very, very popular programming language, so they can program. And most important, they came together in the end, from individual project to group project, to kind of collaborate on the same idea. Different backgrounds, different people. They came in not knowing each other. They left as friends and family. And so that's awesome. And so just wanted to give you context so you all have an idea of what they learned. And for me, it was an honor, and I spent a lot of time, had a blast. And it gets emotional for me every single time. So very happy. They put in a lot of work, so definitely, congratulate them. Make them a nice cup of tea today. Pamper them today. All right, cool. I'm going to pass it over to Kylie. We're going to do it together. This is the time where we have to hand over a certificate. So get ready, students.
So what you're going to see on the certificate actually talks about what program they're in, and then it covers a number of different badges that they receive. So like certifications, these are all different skills that are directly applicable to web development, and based on the track they picked and what they worked on, they got a number of different badges. So something else to ask people about. So we're going to start with you, Natasha.
Cool, absolutely. Cool. Yeah, you worked hard for this. When you come, I always encourage students to flex out your certificate, flash it out a little bit, you know what I mean? Cool. Cool. Now let's give it up for Debbie.
Jonathan.
William, come over. Good. You wanna sit? Cool. Nice job. Yeah. Cool. All right, next up, we've got GC, Giancarlo. All right, we've got Kaylin. Nice job, Kaylin. Nice job. Nice job. Cool. Yeah, I think I've pretty much said everything. It is always an honor for me. This really, really feeds my soul to be able to play a part in the lives of students, people. When I go home and I think about, just last week I was, with a fellow coworker, and we're in the parking lot going home, and we were just reflecting on, the students that we've helped, and we were just thinking about it, and we were like, damn, man, we've touched a lot of people's lives, and that's why we do this. That's why I wake up to come here and do this, and it's a joy for me to see, someone go like, wow, okay, I finally got it. Oh man, I struggled, last week, and today I got it, and just to see that progress, that just really, really does it for me. And I know for Kylie and for AM and for Scott, and for Naveen and, for everyone here. So it's an honor. So thank you for allowing us to play a part in your lives. So these are my last words. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. And before I bring AM up, I just want to open it up. Is there anything that y'all want to share about this experience or yourselves? You don't have to, but I'm giving you the option. I know it's a big request.
I can put my stuff on the GitHub.
You can put yourself on the GitHub.
That's a big thing. Yeah.
You want to say something?
All right. Coming here, it's been definitely a fun experience, especially like looking in first coming here and then kind of looking back when you're fully done. Like the conversations that we all have with each other now is like completely different. We would have never imagined us using certain languages and talking a certain way when we first got in here, for sure. And like from the help we received from Kylie and Kay with certain puzzles and stuff too, kind of opening your mind into certain things has definitely been an adventure. So it's been great working with everyone here. It's been a family for sure.
Will, did you want to say something too? I saw a hand kind of come up. All right.
Never talked to the mic before.
Congrats. It's like talking into an ice cream cone.
So I just wanted to say thank you to DAE and all the educators for bringing us in here. For me, this is something completely different than I've ever done, so I'm grateful for the opportunity, and I just really want to say thank you to everybody for bringing us in.
All right. Anybody else? Cool. I think AM, you are up next thing.
I don't feel I want to until other graduates say some things. about your peers. Anyone? We're talking about your peers? No. So here's what I want to say before we go eat and kind of have, kind of have a more proper conversation. This is like so foreign for us, like to stand in front of, like, this is not how we educate. Like, we never sit like this with everybody facing the front and there's some expert in the front. Like, that's nonsense. It's part of like this design we inherited that, like, what is this? We do a lot of, not in this particular program, but when we have, folks for longer periods of time, we do a lot of conversation about really paying attention to design, because design informs what human beings are invited to do, right? And so if you look at it, this is like a standard classroom, it's like a conference, it's, and so just this design, what does it invite a human being to do and not do? I'll tell you visitors the same thing I've been telling students for 30 years. I first sat in meditation at the age of 4. I am so comfortable with silence, I will outlast all of you. Yes. Yeah, so first thing it does is it says, everything important that's happening is up here. Nothing important is going on up there. Don't worry about it. Over there, right? Without anybody saying that, just the design of the space tells you that. What else? Like if you were in a classroom and you wanted to say something, what would you do?
Raise your hand.
Right? That's just the norm, right? That's just being polite. There's a piece that might be polite, but what is that design element about? That design element is you don't have a voice until I tell you you have a voice, right? Like all these things are really subtle. Nobody sat there and kind of conspiratorially, let's go, that's not how it happened. It just kind of grows up and we don't question it. So this is really unnatural to how we engage, right? But I'm going to keep doing it for a few more minutes before we go and eat and actually have human conversations. I say this one a lot, but I can't say it enough. You've heard the saying, life is a marathon, not a sprint. Have you heard that? You believe that, right? Life is not a sprint. You shouldn't rush. It's a marathon, right? I think both of those are a problem. I think life as a sprint is a problem. I think life as a marathon is a problem. And it's actually one of the, if I had to identify like a handful of kind of subconscious elements in the society that's got us all twisted, that kind of mindset is one of them. Life is not a sprint. Life is not a marathon. Life is a relay race. You get to carry the baton for a little bit of time, and you need to be paying attention that you got to hand it off. It's not your race, it's our race. And there are people waiting behind you to run the race when you can't run it anymore. And you got to be working to prepare them to take the baton, right? And that's another part of our design, is we're constantly, like in our last program, we hired somebody at the adult program to be an apprentice educator, and now they teach with us. We take students in our high school program and make them interns and teach with us, and we like commingle this whole thing because this whole place is a relay race. It's not a sprint or a marathon. And again, in life, I think it's a healthier perspective to say, yeah, I'm going to run. There's places I want to get to, absolutely. But as I'm running, there's opportunities to find people to hand the baton off to, or to hand them their own baton, or to invite them to find their own baton, right? So I tell you that to say, this is for the graduates, what I want to leave you with. You heard this on day one. You hear this like throughout the time you were here. We've got at least one alumni here today who listened in deeply. All that is happening today in terms of your relationship with us is you're done with orientation. You know what I mean? Like, you're graduating in terms of the skills and go off and get a job and all that, great. But in terms of relationship with us, all that happened is you're done with orientation. What alumni looks like for us is not, every year you get a newsletter with some semi-interesting stories and a request for money. We're never going to ask you for money. Our philosophy, education is a human right. Nobody should be paying for it. It's my job, Patrick's job, to go keep finding money. So that's not what alumni means here. All right. So today starts it ends your, if you looked at our database, we have our student system. There are a variety of schools. Like if you went to a university, it's like the School of Nursing and the School of Engineering. So we got a variety of schools. So there's partial day, partial DAE, and those are our 2-week, 6-week programs. We got full day. And those are if you come for the full, like a full front to end program. For the adults, that's a 4-month program. For the high school students, it's a 9-month program, right? So you're kind of in the school you've been in is in the full day program. And then there's a couple other schools, but then there's a school that's called Day After. And so as of tomorrow morning, you get moved out of the full day school and into Day After. And so we still consider you an active kind of learner in the community. And what Day After is it's the alumni community. And the idea there is you're going to get, so you'll get a formal invitation to sign up for it, and you can obviously say no. But if you sign up for it, what happens is beyond just the open invitation, you have to just come in when you'd like. Let us know ahead of time so that we can make sure we're ready for you. But beyond the open invitation, just come in, you'll get more kind of formal invitations to alumni events, guest speakers, opportunities to come in and volunteer, opportunities to come in and kind of work with students who are, you know, kind of just learning to pick up the baton, as it were, in this particular domain. Opportunities to just use the space as co-working because, you know, you're doing some kind of work where you're working from home and you like to occasionally have an office to work in. We got folks who do that, right? So that's the last thing I want to leave you with is that you know, this is graduation on the training side, but on the education side, this is just end of orientation. And if you want it, you got a lifetime membership to this place and a lifetime opportunity to keep developing and growing. And if you're up for it, contributing back to folks who are coming in after you, including the high school students, if that's something you're interested in, yeah? And it could somewhere down the line look like an actual job educating, but for most people it looks like coming in and just volunteering, hanging out, you know, providing support, mentoring, coaching, but that whole continuum is open to you, as well as events and you know, guest speakers, and we have, I think, about a month away from, you know, officially having our first technologist in residence, and so we're going to start having some like really kind of big tech people who are out there working. We're going to come and kind of just be with us for 6 months at a time, 1 day a week, just working here, and then students will get access to them. So all that, you know, kind of to come. But you know, main thing I want to leave you with is, if you want it, you're not done. If you want it, you're in this community for life, because that's just, as you know from being here, that's just kind of how we engage with people and how we engage with the work. Yeah, as long as you're committed to continuing to further your education, i.e., further your expression of who you are in the world, you're part of this group. Right? I want to echo what Kylie said. I didn't say it up front. Just a simple congratulations. Again, this is not an easy undertaking. I mean, most, if not all of you, I think, had no coding experience before you came in. It's a pretty big deal, you know, to take this on. Those of you who haven't been in the program, it's a pretty big deal to, in 4 months, develop the kind of skills these folks developed. And it's difficult to communicate unless you've been through it. It's a pretty tough program. So congratulations on doing that work. Congratulations on how you were with each other. You know, that's always the kind of biggest thing for me is, and for us, is what's the community? Who are they for each other? You know, because those skills will serve you as well, if not better, than any technical skills you develop in the workplace and in life and in community. So congratulations. I don't think I have anything else. Do I have anything else? Is there anything else I was supposed to say? Oh, one more thing I was supposed to say. And then Kay's got something. Next cohort starts in about 8 to 12 weeks, end of September, October, something like that. I don't remember the date off the top of my head. The next cohort of adult students start. We do still have some seats open, so if you have any interest in that, let us know. As I said, the tuition is very straightforward. There's no financial exchange. There's just an expectation that you're going to be willing to be up for education and not just training. Be up for being willing to be part of a community, to be up for willing to explore kind of how you want to make a difference, how you want to have an impact, and how you want to engage above and beyond just developing really, really, really significant tech skills. Yeah? Cool. Are you talking back there? I missed something. That's good. I got it. Okay. Did you want to throw something in? I think she was going to pass, right? You're going to. Did you want to say something? You don't need to, man. You know the deal. You don't need to. Yeah, here we go. So Hugh graduated from our last cohort. He's back with us. He's recently joined. I'll let him tell you who he all you, man.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hello. See who I graduated last year? Sometime last year. Yeah, like AM said, it's kind of like you're stuck here once you graduate. So I've been, coming back. I was at the other one, off Exit 8, next to Wilbur Cross, when I graduated. So this is like a new area for me. But I came in for a couple of their presentations. I didn't know they had zero coding experience or like low coding experience. So I was like very good to see like the buttons and just the pages work in general, because like that's a lot, to actually be able to go into the code and make sure everything works and you click on it and go from page to page. That little bit of navigation is actually huge in the industry. Yeah, I mean, I start my coding journey continues since I left here. I've been working on different frameworks like React with JavaScript. Thanks to Kay and everybody here, AM, Patrick, Kylie. On Monday, I actually started working with Sony. So, yeah.
I'm going to tell you, it's not just Sony PlayStation, which for a computer science person, that is a top 5 place to live work on the planet.
But yeah, so congrats. And we keep just sticking around here. Job opportunities just kind of flow into this place, so you just gotta wait for them and just grab them.
I want you to know that I saw you on Channel 8, and that's how I learned about the program. Stuck with me what you said about what this project. Remember I told you I saw you on Channel 8? I remember his words, and then I called.
What those words were?
Yeah, he said, you talked about the value of it, the fact that other people went to school. I still remember it. That other people went to school and were getting this training for free here. See, I remember.
Those are literal words. What words? And so I'm impressed you remembered it, but what I point out, those words were pecan. Yeah. Yeah, that's the deal. That's what you said. Come back, hang out. And when you come back, it's the same deal as when you were here. Be committed, show up, push yourself. And you keep doing that, and we're going to keep finding ways to help. That's kind of what we're here for, Thank you all, appreciate you all, love you all. Really glad that you kind of crossed our paths, and looking forward to seeing where that journey goes. And now we got food from, we're big on, for obvious reasons, just our whole kind of values and all that. We always got to try to cater from local places. So we got some food from a local Middle Eastern place. And that is out that way, right? You guys? We're going to look at projects. We're not going to eat. Sorry, we're going to eat after. That's a terrible thing to do. It's a terrible thing. I'm going to tease the food. We're going to look at projects. So the projects these folks worked on, you're going to have the opportunity to go into the main education room, and they've got their laptops, and you'll be able to sit with each of them and look at the projects they worked on to get an actual concrete kind of example of what it is they developed in 4 short months in terms of skills, and then we're going to go eat. So follow those guys, those folks, those humans. Excuse me.